Hi, Hinstas. How you doing? Hope you're having a great hump day. If you're watching today, it is hump day right now as I film, and we are in Sag season, my favorite season. Yeah, leave us a comment below. Let us know how you're doing. Tomorrow's a really important day for me, so if you're watching this early, um, please send me your good vibes and your best wishes. But without further ado, Bruce, this is welcome back to the channel, first of all. If you're new, welcome too. Let's skip the niceties for this one as I want to get straight into it. You can find all that jazz in the description box below. There will be timestamps, maybe not, below later, should you want to skip straight to a particular part. But anyway, before we get into the dragon year, because this video is going to be on the wood slash green dragon year 2024, we should discuss the rabbit year, the year that we are still in as I film this video. And as I've been mentioning a lot on my channel, the overarching rabbit year energies have been, for many people, about settling, burrowing, and squirreling away quietly at things more than it has been about overly exhibiting our spirit. So for a lot of people, it's just very basically about focusing on stuff quietly, like what's already been accumulated on your plate or in your life, and also being content with that and being kind of wise about the things that we have. And the year before that was the tiger year, very much a time of the pounce, especially towards the end of the tiger year. I mean, definitely in my case, but for a lot of people, the end of the tiger year was a big like push or a big jump, a big risk, a seizing of a brilliant new job or a wonderful new partner or like a beautiful new lease on life, as they say. And the rabbit year then marked the tiger's kind of landing point, like when a gymnast lands on their feet and gets the applause and the 10 10 10s, or the tiger is on all fours again. This would be getting really deep and stuck into the new job, or really committing with the whole heart to that new partner or partners, or getting now very comfortable or familiar with a new version of the self or a new way of approaching life. And the mythology of the rabbit year points to the danger of over consuming sometimes. And it's a kind of over consuming or mindless consuming to the point of exposing something vulnerable about ourselves in our lives. And the rabbit kind of mindlessly needs to do this sometimes, but it's rabbit has these two very, very ultra sensitive ears, and I'm pretty sure like rabbits, pet rabbits, they've been studied, and they are known to be able, their hearing is so good that they can like hear when their owner is coming back home. Like they can hear, they can pick up these frequencies quite a significant while before the owner has even reached the home and is with the rabbit, literally. And so that's quite interesting. But yeah, there are like these two ears, and one ear has to be kind of more focused on the surroundings, like who or what is there, and a potential danger. Because yes, again, there is this mindless eating or consumption sometimes that captures us in the rabbit year. And anyway, in these mythologies, the rabbit year is described to have eaten too much of the grass or the food from the spot that's like around its home, its environ, and gradually exposed its safe sanctuary to predators. and it ended up being chased by the wolf, or some other beast, and having its long or its lush sort of tail bitten off. And the rabbit, interestingly, did not actually intend in these stories to be involved in this 12 animal race to the royal emperor's banquet. And there's much to be said then when it comes to the rabbit about enjoying what we have simply, or what we have simply landed in, and not forcing anything as well. I think that's been a very important lesson or theme or experience for many people. And I say this then to talk also about the wolf, who, while chasing the rabbit, was met by the dragon and decided to stop chasing the rabbit and get into a fight with the dragon instead. So the dragon, then, this is the mystical animal that precedes the rabbit and marks a huge overarching tone of the collective year 2024. And the Chinese New Year begins roughly around the beginning of the Hellenistic astrological year, on that Pisces Aries cusp, or around this cusp and around the spiritual springtime of the year. And one of the biggest feelings I have generally for 2024 is that those who did Rabbit Year well will be mostly fortunate should anyone or anything attempt to bring harm. There's this big protective, fiery, fierce energy there. And it is certainly going to be a time of sudden fighting of various kinds, especially fighting for the self and the preservation of what's perceived to be rightly ours. Dragon Year will bring much more unruliness and boldness and infighting as well. And for the many, this kind of sleepy season is rudely shaken, and we are forced to take to the stage or to go to the most extreme distance or limit that we've ever gone to, or we are made to leave something or leave someone precious due to something more important pulling us out of that burrow or out of the kind of den, the dragon's den. And the dragon will also cause some people to leave this burrow or this den foolishly, as there will be an increase in power trips and rivalries and egos kind of getting really blown up. Dragon also has an intriguing or curious kind of cuteness about it, a cliquey kind of playfulness that can come about. And I don't think this is always talked about or acknowledged, but the Dragon Year, or just Dragon Year people generally, can be quiet as stones, and then when they speak, it can be something quite cutting, like brutal, or it can be something quite profound, or you feel like their gaze sometimes and their gaiety is really speaking to your soul, and they really have some kind of other level connection with you, or there's something special about that connection they're making with you. And you can't always put a finger on it, but it's there. It's like a twinkling flame. And if you are a Dragon Year person watching, you may have, especially in the past 2 or 3 months, felt forces pulling or pushing you. And this is really impacting those who don't usually gel with or understand wood or green energy. I think those people will have it harder. Those dragons have it harder and will already be kind of burning bridges and kicking up storms if they are people who are not very in touch with themselves. They don't resonate with spirituality. It's definitely a year for things to go up in flames, people to go out with a bang, or for us to blow everything up, or to blow everything on a certain person or thing. And I'm looking also at my fellow horses and my Sag risings and Pisces risings and Cancer risings, and also Pluto risings and Mars risings and Chiron risings and Jupiter risings. All of you, so take it steady. Anywho, for many, this is a lot of this dragon stuff is coming from a space of spiritual agitation or ancestral guidance to act on a big decision, to pursue a dream or stay in something utterly dull. Like there's often, and I'm talking again, especially to the dragon year people here, but this all or nothing choice or ultimatum things or some deep frustration. I mean, especially if you're like a Scorpio rising as well, it could just things, or a Scorpio sun even, there could just be a lot of anger now the more you resist making this big decision. Um, and for younger dragons, it's simply about, I mean, this, you could have a dragon child. They are being pulled through a kind of teaching moment now, like achieving, it's a bit like when you achieve adolescence before all of your same age peers. But there's not a mastering of that energy. It's just like you arriving there early or first and making big moves that might be kind of looked on regretfully later in adult life. And I'd like now to talk about the rising signs that I feel, or yeah, that I feel will most easily benefit from the 2024 dragon year. Of course, regardless of rising sign, if you're born under a dragon year, then this is absolutely one of your more pivotal points. It's one of the most destructive times of life for some, and it's one where something really cannot be ignored or mistaken. And I feel for a lot of dragons, it's something magical and exciting that can't be mistaken. A series of like big signs or like green lights to say yes to the better option and to see where your kind of flying powers will take you. Um, Let me try to conclude just with a little on all the signs. But I think this dragon year will be most easily beneficial for the fire. Of course, it's always all dependent on your chart and your own choices and your extent of being in touch with spirit and your ancestors and your guides and all the rest of it. So just because we are a certain rising sign doesn't mean it's definitely going to be a good year or a bad year. So, but anyway, very generally speaking, I think Aries, Gemini, Leo, Libra, Sagittarius, and Aquarius risings, and also Scorpio risings, because Scorpio is Mars ruled, they're all in this category of those that I think will benefit more from the dragon. Yeah. However, this is a wood dragon year, or the green dragon. So it's not like a super duper fire kind of year necessarily. There is a lot, I think, to be said about this earthy kind of power of friendship and wisdom, as much as things being visionary and fierce and pursuing things like impulsively. And the signs for whom I think the dragon year will be more neutral are Taurus, the rising signs, Taurus rising, Cancer rising, Virgo rising, Capricorn rising, and Pisces rising. Taurus, Virgo, and Pisces could lean slightly more to the struggling side, and Cancer and Capricorn could lean slightly more to the benefiting side, especially if you are a Capricorn rising, because Pluto is in Capricorn. That's just amazing, potentially for a lot of Capricorn risings. But I think most cases will be kind of in this neutral or relatively quiet or steady year for these rising signs. There's nothing wrong at all for with steady or quiet energy, especially if you are a spirit who needs more steadiness or more quiet. However, if you're a dragon, then you do belong in that first category. So that's regardless again of your rising sign. You belong in that first category of easily benefiting, or someone who can very much master what this year 2024 has to offer. Or also, if you have a lot of air or fire placements that are significant in your chart, you can also more easily get into these dragon vibes. I'm really excited to see where this dragon year, this wood green dragon year takes us. And any dragon year really is a precious kind of opportunity to uh, dazzle, to bedazzle, and to take flight and to defeat animosity, to fight for something worthy of fighting for. And the tiger to the rabbit to the dragon, our victories are becoming unmistakable. And people's power and people's essence and energy is like undeniable in the dragon year. And victorious spirits will, I think, relish much more in these fights against the wicked. People will get wise but also very powerful. And I see loyal relationships kind of really blossoming in the dragon year. I see people taking the leap as well to go to live or work abroad, and some of us becoming richer in all the different shades of wealth. And I see a lot of people taking up positions of power and responsibility where they are now called to share valuable skills and knowledge and advice with others. I'll end this video then with a lyric from Princess Nokia's song Dragons. Princess Nokia being someone I've long called the Princess of the Geminis, and she is a very dragon-like Scorpio rising. And anyway, it goes like this. Mother of dragons, you are my son. There's a place in my heart that you already won. You already won. You already won. Thank you and have a great dragon year. Love you.